Hi there, my collective, people that are in my group, my subscribers, the people that are attracted to whatever the thumbnail ends up being. I'm being called to do this reading, literally out of bed to do this reading. I am so exhausted lately. I don't know, these energies are kind of getting to me. As far as like exhaustion, I feel like I'm having to sleep a lot, like a lot. I sleep a lot as it is. So this is heavy energies, and I was pulled right out of bed. Interesting. Listening to a video though about a lady talking about past life memories, and talking about what triggered me was she said that there's like knowings that you just know when it's your time to leave, even on earth, like even if it's an accident that's gonna happen, like you'll just know. This reading isn't about that, but I kind of feel it relating to my mom, because her death was, well, it was kind of a mix of things, but it was surely, it ended up being like a natural / accident. And my dad said that he thinks that she knew, even so, like the week before, 2 weeks before, or something like that. So I don't know. It was just my trigger to do this reading, and so I'm gonna do it. So let's see what we get. Of course, I'm still processing all that stuff. So let's see. Why do you have me getting out of my bed, Spirit? What kind of message are you trying to get out there today? Calling all angels to help me with this reading, please. Okay. The knowing, the hunger, the drive. There's a natural pull, an instinct, a hunger. You could perhaps feel like the lone wolf, but a lone wolf that is starving for something other than the things that we normally crave here. It's like a hunger to know what really is. Okay. Like a hunger or a craving to know what is what really is what. The truth, the instincts, the truth, the things with this winter card that have been churning, and I'm even getting, like, if this is talking in terms of our different lives, our past lives, then this is something that has been frozen, a truth from ourselves that has been frozen for a while. That is why we're feeling this hunger, and it seems like this hunger can come up across to you as a literal hunger. It can come across to you as craving when we get attached to like these physical things. What I'm getting, the message I'm getting is that we can be craving something on the earthly realm, but actually be craving something so much deeper, and that is what's being awoke or wakened up. That is what's being woke in you, woke in us. Getting out of a spiritual stuckness. I saw Jupiter. Spiritual roadblock. So if you find yourself craving something, ask yourself what the deeper meaning of the craving is. Where is it actually coming from? Very similar, like, to the message of the root cause. What is the root cause? This is the coagulation is... It's a bunch of other things that get attached to us. It can be of being like an empath and getting a lot of different energies, but it can be also because I'm getting that past life message of these other things happening that have, the trauma has bonded to us in some sense. So there could be people experiencing lots of somatic illnesses that have no direct cause or have no direct link. And sure, it can be things like the chakras opening, because I usually do go to that. I go to ascension symptoms and things like that. But there can be things that need to get unstuck regarding our past lives that are stuck to us spiritually from past lives. So how do we do this, Spirit? I mean, because let's be honest, not all of us, including myself, are necessarily going to go to a past life regressionist. Okay, not all of us are going to be meditating for hours and practicing all the time to get these energies unstuck from us. So I want to know some like real answers to that in this reading of, is there any other way, other than those ways of detaching from these traumas or things that happen in past lives? The sugar. By the sweetness, by experiencing and living with this sweetness in life, enjoying the sweetness. These look very similar, don't they? That's interesting. How in a spiritual sense, or from a soul level, we could view the things that get you tied up or stuck, or things that you feel like are a burden to deal with, as being also those sweet things, because they're all encompassing the life experience, which is precious. Hard to differentiate a problem from the sweetness when it's all life, when you're on the soul realm and on the soul level. And that might explain why some people are more drawn to resolving things and other people are more drawn to, I'm going to go towards what I enjoy and not let some of these things bother us so much. That's a really interesting message. Okay, this is one of those where you're either going to relate to this, so I don't feel like I can even really relate. I feel like this is a new message. Okay, so the perception of what is sweetness. We surely know right now in this form what we feel like is sweet. On the other side, quite different. Oh, and you have found gold. You have found gold, the most precious thing, the most precious element, the gold. Being guided, your benevolent guide, your kind guide. The gold in the situation is that the hunger and the drive for wanting what you want is part of that life force, which is still the gold, similar to what you would consider a prize or something sweet. Okay. So then I have spring. I have spring, I have winter, I have the void. Can we get one more? And dissolution. I'm getting that it's a choice to bring these things with us or along with us. Life to life. It's a choice. Like the spring, you can make that decision anytime in any lifetime to blossom, to bloom. And what I'm imagining, okay, what I see, like in my mind's eye, you can say, with this spring is, you know how in the fall there's these leaves that get all dried and crumpled up on the trees as some didn't fall, right? And then there's some spider webs or things like that. And then you have the winter and it gets real cold, but those things, some of those things still remain, right? Same tree, different cycle, different season, and those things are like the coagulation card. So those dried leaves, those spider web things. And then I'm seeing the spring, and with you in your fullness, your readiness to bloom and blossom, with the spring, these new buds come out on the tree, new leaves start to form, and that the growth of this is what pushes those things off. So what I'm being told is that no, you don't have to do it that way. You don't have to. There's a fast track process that I suppose you could call it fast track if you want to feel really pulled into past life regressions and things like that. Or you can put your all and you get yourself the healthiest you can, so that when you bloom, when you blossom, those things naturally are pushed off of the tree in whatever season it's going through. Because it will experience then the summer full healthiness, and then you will experience yet again the autumn and then the winter. And so that's what I'm being told there about that question. I was wondering, is that question going to get answered? So other than the perspective, being guided through the void, stillness is really important. The void, the stillness is really important. I need to get another deck for this. Dissolution, though, is when we have a bird that's going into the water and things are being dissolved, right? So, and it looks very similar to this energy too. It's almost like saying you're dissolving the need for a guide for this stuff. You're dissolving the need for a guide in the sense of being really healthy and trusting your natural instincts as good and loving to yourself as you can is going to push the right blossoms to make those things fall off naturally. Things are being dissolved, even the need for an outside source of a guide. Even that. It could just as well say you are your own guide, too. And that the benevolent guide all along has been your inner voice. It's like the energy that's inside the winter tree. It's on the inside. It's the inner voice. So then there's a separate message coming up. Of course, the void, we'll hit on the void, but the void is where there's nothing happening. That's how I would describe the void. There's nothing happening, and possibly that we're so used to there being this drive, this hunger, and life force that we possibly get a little bit eager to put the things into the void that we're attracted to first or the most. And so that can come in the form of drugs and addiction and things that are fast. And so this is saying that we're being guided during this time to spend more time in the void, to spend more time with the nothingness. Looks like this is a separate message in a way. Like a moth to a flame, you're attracting soul family to you too. Attracting soul family, mystical sister. And there's gold here. The against nature. Pushing and forcing. There's the void. Trying to fill it with anything that isn't coming to you naturally. And then the raven's head is the beginning of your life work, your life purpose. Ultimately, there's something about that. There is something about that. I feel like you've struck gold in some, there's something you have struck gold in. That you don't need spend more time in the, okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting, spend more time in the void. And there's a box. But there's life all around it. The raven's head holding the pearl, the pearl of wisdom. What else? What other information do you want to give my collective here? Because this is a nice reading. It's kind of out of the blue. The elephant carrying the flame. Fire signs being represented here. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, but it's about the journey, right? The long journey, and what a long journey it has been. Definitely learn to listen more instead of talk so much. Me too. One tusk is broken because it's not been easy. It's not been easy. So the elephant speaks of the journey, but it also speaks of like the wisdom. Oh, and it's also giving us another message about the perception. Many of you probably have already heard of this. Just the same as there's different ways to access how to resolve past life issues, problems, things like that, right? There's the story of Buddha. I think is it Buddha? Oh, it might be a Hindu thing. Oh, I don't want to get the story wrong. I think it's Buddha, where there's 5 blind men, and they ask them, you know, we're gonna let you all touch this elephant. I'll give you certain sections, and then I want each one of you to tell me, what does this elephant look like? But each were assigned just a little section, you know. So some describe the elephant as having a very long trunk and big ears, and some were like, and then some would say, well, it's really soft, or it was real hard here, and then they'd be like, the others would say, well, no, what I felt was different. It was soft here, and it was like this. All of their answers were of the same elephant, of the same god, but different answers because of, in a sense, where they were assigned. Oh, something is waking up in you. This is beautiful, because it did lead to the spring. There is an energy that's waking up within you that has to do with coming out of spiritual hibernation. You think of a bear, and what does the bear represent? Well, first of all, strength. Strength. Brute force if it wants to. But in this card in specific, it is about being in hibernation and coming out. And you see the yellow, the enlightenment. Just like this spring tree is blossoming and blooming, so too are you with your spirituality. And this encompasses like all, well, there's an umbrella of all kinds of things with spiritual awakening or coming out of slumber, realizing how spiritual you are, realizing what spiritual gifts you have, realizing the difference between your divine self and the ego self that is in the avatar. Or so there's a spiritual slumber that you're definitely coming out of. I feel like it's going to take all parts of you that you thought were you, and they're just going to be dissolved. All right, I'm going to try some drink of my water. What else do you want to tell us? So the bee definitely has something in common with the sugar card, right? And what do they call honey? They call it liquid gold, right? There's a sweetness and a satisfaction when you merge with your life's work and life purpose. And then the point, of course, it's always to like survive. So you can't just say I'm going to work for free. That's just really not realistic, unless it is realistic for you, unless you are able to do that. And goodness me, wouldn't that be great to have everything taken care of so that all you have to do is exactly spiritually what you feel called to do. So there's a really big call. I feel like this is really saying there's a big call, or you're being guided to find out where your heart space is leading you work-wise, to find out what would it be, what could you do where you feel more like in tune with your purpose, like why you're here, and enjoying it a little bit more. Something about that, about being guided with the bee. I'm gonna get one of these cards. What is the bee about? What is the bee trying to guide you to? Because the way that it came out makes me wonder. Again, I'm getting soul group, okay? Again, I'm picking up on a soul group. I feel like that's a message, is that more and more people are going to start grouping together, tighter groups. Might not be family, like actual blood. It might be soul families. But there's something about that, because it's going to provide such relief, and there's going to be a tie with spiritual soul family. I just want to stop there with that, because I just feel like that's part of that message too, of working with each other very well, cooperating, working together. Tell me more about the bee. Freedom. Freedom. Investing in something that's really going to pay off, the Seven of Pentacles, that will give you freedom. So, yeah, okay, so it does have to do, it feels like it has to do with finances, work, and the satisfaction too that you're going to get in the seeds that you plant, because right now there's a lot of patience needed for perhaps the seeds that you've already started sowing. Some of you all are looking for an escape plan or a strategy that you need to think a little bit more on regarding the fact that you can see clearly through lies, through deception. Ooh, some of you all can see very clearly of a tower energy here, or a force that is simply against nature or against having things natural, all about control. And so you're developing a strategy for whatever collapse this tower is representing. And this is all going to bring about some really big change with the butterfly. Metamorphosis. Something that completely transforms the way that it looks. Completely. In fact, it has even different functions. That's almost like what's going to happen with you. Coming out of spiritual hibernation. Getting into your soul's life purpose. Your great work. And then transforming so much that even your skills and your abilities have switched up or changed completely. All of a sudden, instead of crawling, you're flying. The function, your function is going to look very different in the next few years. Your function. There's the crow. You hold a lot of energy of the magician and magic and mystery. Ooh, right now, okay, yeah. So right now there's a call to take a pause. If you can. Why a pause with the cobra healing? Because you're about to go deep. You're about to be like that sweet whale that goes deep, and then, you know what I'm seeing right here? The void. A safe place to be in, a void or a dormant pause. A safe place. The rabbit on the bottom. Life's mysteries. Taking on the rabbit coming out again. Shy and hesitancy, I would say. Things multiplying. Like a moth to a flame. And the dolphin. All right, so wow, that's what I've got. That was a pretty interesting reading. I see why they did it for me. I do. I hope that it gave something to you too. It's the whole purpose, right? You see that I left the void alone, and I was kind of wondering to myself, why are you not asking questions about it? Because it's the void. Because it's the void, and it's yours, and it's mine, and it's nothing. But it is the deep mystery at the same time. I don't know. There's something interesting about that. Okay, so for all of you that have been feeling really tired, like me, get ready for some increased energy, they're saying. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for filling me with the unlimited energy of divine love and light. Inner authority, thank you for supporting me as I take back my power, listen to my intuition, desires, and feelings. Ask your body for a message. Help me hear your messages. Thank you in honoring and respecting my body's needs. Using your natural healing abilities, thank you for clearly guiding and encouraging me and supporting me in my healing work. That's what this cobra also does during this pause, is heal it's a healing energy for others too if you get that spirit animal. Recovery. Thank you for holding my hand throughout my recovery upon the path of radiant health. And I wish that for all of you all, sending you blessings tenfold for sure. Much love. Like, subscribe as usual. If you want a private reading, that information's in the description box below. Bye.